Hi, my name is Alan from Hawkdive, and today we're going to be talking about the battery life and health of your iPhone and how do you keep them healthy. Actually, this video is not only applicable to iPhones, but also your iPad devices. So, this video might be a little short because most of the things that I have ready for you are kind of connected to each other. So, we might enable some things that are already enabled, disabled on this part of the tutorial or tips. So just keep that in mind. If you want the full detail, make sure to check out the Hawkdive article on the description down below and give it a good read. I wrote that, so you're sure that AI didn't write the thing. So hey, I'll be using the iPhone 8 for this video. Some settings may only be applicable to next gen phones, such as the iPhone 10 and above, but we're using this iPhone 8 because there are things going on with this phone right now, so I cannot use it. And this is currently running on iOS 16.4, the current latest for iOS. And so settings should stay quite the same across the board of iOS devices as long as you're running the latest version. All right, so let's start off. The first thing would be animated lock screens and third-party widgets on the lock and home screen. So as you can see right here, this is the iPhone 8 and I barely have anything in it. And why? Because I want to keep the battery life or battery health as long as possible. So there's a difference between battery life. Battery life, as you can see on the top right of the screen right now, is 57%. That's the current battery life of the phone. But the battery health of the phone, which is the peak battery, let's just say, of the phone is only at 77%. It's the maximum capacity and it's still working fine. This is an old phone. It's been with me throughout the years and it's still working fine and doesn't just shut down. Now, 77 is still kind of fine, but make sure you change your battery when it dips down 80% because that's kind of like the standard default to change the battery. Just tossing the information out there. So, get started. As stated, animated lock screen and third-party widgets. As you can see, if I go on my home screen or lock screen right now, if I hold, customize, you know what, let's just do another, say, color. I can add the widgets, right? Now we don't want any widgets because this, whenever you just check for a notification in your lock screen or home screen, those widget runs. And those are background tasks that contributes to the system usage of the battery. So we don't want that. We're gonna disable those. I just keep it simple and plain. Same thing with my home screen. As you can see, there's literally nothing in it, just a few apps, and that is about it. That is, you know, choosing a static lock screen than like an animated one. Since there are like the astronomy one, let's just do customize, uh, just do plus. As you can see right here, weather and astronomy, weather changes whatever weathers the phone is seeing, and the astronomy one right here changes depending on the moon phase or position on solar eclipse. That literally updates every tick, every second, every minute. So we don't want any of that. That's going to drain our battery. And we're going to move on to the next step. Using focus modes. Focus modes, basically, if you open up your control center, you have focus modes now. As you can see, you have do not disturb, personal, work, sleep. You can customize this. But let's just do not disturb because I don't want any notifications coming in, especially when I'm recording like this one. Now, focus modes basically save your device's battery by utilizing the focus mode because it doesn't allow any of the notifications coming in. Whenever a notification comes in, especially emails, that drains out your battery because it's gonna load, it's gonna send like a process to your phone to tell you that, hey, you have received a notification. The phone will display that, and most likely than not, it's also gonna notify you by waking up your phone and showing you that display. And when that happens multiple times a day, 100 times or more a day, that's literally gonna drain your battery life. So enable focus mode, especially do not disturb on at times, especially when you don't want to receive any notifications. Moving on, we want to disable the vibration and haptic feedback. So to disable that, just want to go and drop down into settings right here. And we want to go into sounds and haptics. Just go here. We do sounds and haptics. So there are some things that I'm gonna enable and disable for this video because I want to keep the phone as default as it is currently right now because all the things are set up the way I want it. So I might disable and enable some settings again, just for my own use case. But all the steps that I'm showing to you, those are literally what's going to save your phone's battery life and battery health. So right here, we're now on sound and haptics. We just want to scroll down, make sure the keyboard feedback is none, because that's a vibration. It'll cause monitors to work, draining battery. Just disable play haptics in ring mode, haptics, lock sound, disable that, system haptics, disable that. Just disable all of that. That's basically kind of like the vibration motor that's gonna work whenever there's like a notification as well. Or like whenever you're doing 3D touch, typing on a keyboard, locking your screen, haptic feedbacks, that's a vibration motor inside the phone, and it's gonna drain your battery whenever you do the task. Moving on, to avoid your battery health actually being lowered over time, you want to keep the cycle amounts fine and great. So to do that, always keep your phone percentage at 20% only as the minimal or the lowest, and make sure you only charge it up to 80% and unplug it. Now, most people don't do this, but it actually gives a lot of life to your phone, because basically your iOS device is a lithium battery powered device, and it is highly recommended if you can only charge it from 20 to 80 or keep the battery life at 20 to 80, because it's going to prevent accelerated battery degradation, and ultimately it's going to give your phone longer battery life and health. So that keeps the cycles low. And now let's proceed. Always on display. Now, this thing I cannot show you how to disable, but if you read down on the article below, it will tell you to go to settings, display and brightness. So actually, I can do that part. Settings, display and brightness, and then you want to turn off always on somewhere in here, down here. As you can see, always turn off raise to wake as well, especially if you're always outside. You don't want it to be like the phone to feel that you picked it up and then suddenly just lights up and wake up. We don't want that. That's also going to turn a lot of our things into a battery draining task. So, moving on, number 6, we want to enable auto brightness, or just lower down the brightness in total. So you can do that by going to display brightness. You can turn it on, because this one, it'll know whenever your phone needs to be brightened up. But we're not going to do that here. As you can see, True tone is the only thing enabled here. It doesn't show the auto brightness. So what we're going to do to lower the usage of our phone's capacity or power, just turn the brightness all the way down low. And that should be great. But for me, as I'm doing this short video, I'm going to keep it on 50. Another thing that we're going to do is to reduce the white point of the phone. Basically, to do this, we just go to accessibility, and then we go to display. We scroll down a little bit. You're gonna see here auto brightness is on, uh, but we currently have it set at 50%. But reduce white point, I don't know if it changes anything that you're gonna be seeing in the video, but basically what it does, as you can see here, I don't know if you can see it too, but the lower the white point thing is, the brighter the phone is, and the higher the reduced white point is, the lower the brightness of the phone is. Basically reduces the brightness of the white points of the phone. I'm gonna disable that for now, but I would suggest you doing that, because that's gonna enable your display to run longer without getting hot, without damaging your battery, while also giving you a longer battery life per session. So the next one we're gonna do is turn off mail fetching. So basically you want to go into settings and search for fetch you data, or actually just search for mail fetching, like that. As you can see, fetch new data on push. You want to do it manually, because basically your phone will fetch new data in the background only when on power and Wi-Fi. That is great. We want to turn this off. Not only will that help you not fetch any new emails when you don't really want to read it, especially the mail app. You can just uninstall the mail app now, actually. But this is the easiest way and the fastest way to actually disable the mail fetching, even on Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna re-enable that because I need it for now. But if you don't need that, then there's no need for you to do that. As you can see, That's the easiest way. We're not gonna do like you want to go accessibility, you want to do this, you want to do that. I'm gonna suggest you the best ways to actually navigate your phone by using that search bar because it is now smarter. Now, you want to consider turning off the analytics. To do that, you just want to search for analytics like that. As you can see, I have everything off because I don't need to share any of this to Apple. You can turn this on if you like. You can go in depth and check all the types of data that your analytics save, but we're not going to do that. Just straight up turn it off. Turn it off while setting up your phone. If you have a new phone, just turn it off right from the get go. Because even though this enable features such as Find My iPhone, it is very crucial that you disable this to prolong your battery life and battery health of the phone because it's processing less. That's literally the goal of the whole optimizing your iPhone battery. Just turn everything that'll heat up the phone and that will make it your battery life longer. That will make your battery health, you know, die less pace or less fast. It's gonna maintain 100%, maybe decrease to 95% after a few months. But that is still far from having your battery burned and dead and trash. So we're gonna do and disable iCloud Drive and iCloud Backup on cellular data. To basically do that, just search for iCloud. You're gonna pop up with this. Sorry, I cannot show you the Apple ID of the phone because that's kind of a dumb thing to do. But anyway, as you can see right here, iCloud, you just turn this off. Device backups, iCloud backup, make sure that is off, and you're good to go. That's as easy as it can get. Be selective of the applications updated in the background would be the next thing to do. So usually you go to the App Store and you select which things you want updated. But that can be good too, but we don't want any automatic updates. We're gonna head over to settings, and then what we're gonna do next is scroll down until we see App Store. So what we're gonna do in App Store is disable automatic downloads for everything. As you can see, especially on the cellular data. The thing here with cellular data is if you're updating outside, you're using cellular data, that's also going to take up or create or generate a lot of heat that will damage the phone's battery in the long run. So we don't want to do that. But for me right now, I'm going to enable this too. And I'm going to get over this part of the video, but make sure you have this disabled if you want the longest running battery life. Next would be dark mode. On the new iOS versions, you can basically just tap and hold on the brightest bar and you can just enable and disable dark mode. Wow, this is like a new experience right now. As you can see, the more brighter the screen is, the more heat it's going to generate. So we don't want that. We want the best for our battery. So make sure to enable dark mode, especially on newer phones. Dark mode is so useful because they're using OLED display instead of LED. As we all know, even though we have dark mode on, you can still separate the difference between the black that's not a screen and black that is screen. Like on newer phones, they're not as, as seeable. Like blacks are really black and so on and so forth. So gonna do that. The next one would be to set location for only while using apps. Now this is usually seen whenever you open an app, it's gonna ask you whenever you allow it. Like when is the time that you allow it to use your location? It can be always, it can be never, or it can be while using the app. Let's see. Let's go to the weather app. As you can see, the location already have it set while using the app or widget. Actually, we're gonna change that to while using the app. Because on the widgets, it's gonna like run in the background if you have a weather widget and it's gonna change. And we don't want that. It's gonna generate more things. Turn off precise location too if you don't want it to be extra specific. It's also a security feature, but I'm gonna enable it for this one for now. And that's how you disable the location access for the weather app. The next thing would be to turn off everything in Safari or whatever browser you're using. As you can see, let's just do, we currently have NBA standings here because this is kind of a family phone now. But to have ad blockers, we want to download something on the App Store. This is kind of the app that I would recommend to you at least. It's called AdGuard. I'm going to show you exactly how to enable and disable. There you go. AdGuard is now downloaded. You just want to press open. Basically, how does this help, Alan? Like, how does ad blockers help on your battery life? Whenever you load content in a website, that generates a task to your processor that generates heat. And like, think about it. Like, there are a lot of websites with like multiple ads just to press a single button. So having a ad blocker would be so much of help. You can, as you can see, says it here, block ads, block annoyance, block trackers, more safety, and it's just a easier and faster browsing time while also saving your battery. So what we do, we head over to settings, we head over to Safari, and then we go down to extensions, and then we just want to enable everything. Basically, AdGuard works in all sites. As you can see, we just have everything enabled. And now if you go into your browser, though I'm not going to be able to show you right now because keeping tabs on this one, there's going to be less of, let's just open a site. Look how fast that loaded with just, this is an iPhone 8, remind you guys. And you saw how fast that is. There are still ads. It doesn't block every ads, especially the ads that are specifically on the website. But if you go into much more sketchier sites, it just helps that you have ad block on. You might want to restart Safari actually for everything to take effect, but that should just be enough. Let's go and open up another site. As you can see, there's less ads even on this one because we restarted and the ad guard has taken effect. That's good. Now we're going to move on to the last bit of our thing. That is making sure that there are enough storage. Yeah. Now you're probably going to be asking, hey, Alan, be honest. What does that have to do with my thing? Well, as you can see, I have 24 gigs of 256 gig used. So I have things on, but offload will never be in use. There are no files that are going to take effect to the things that I won't need, and it's not going to generate an extra task for the phone to manage all your files. Like they can just relax, they can go anywhere that they like on the drive. Your phone's not going to work out hard designate the place for the specific storage that the phones need because you have extra storage. They can just like the files can literally just go anywhere that you like. And that's basically how this whole guide works. The gist of it is basically we allow the phone to work as efficiently as possible without generating as much heat, doing the tasks that we want the phone to do. Like we can do TikTok, we can do whatever. That should be the main usage of the phone. Whatever we want the phone to do without the extra things that it has to do in the background that generates extra heat that we don't need for the phone. So that's basically the gist of the video. And hopefully you do read the article down in the description below. Make sure to check it out. And that would be it for me for this video. Hopefully it did help. If it did, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share the video to your friends. Maybe they'll find it helpful. There are some settings that they probably have not changed in their phone since they got it. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.